Hi you guys, it's Jack here, and I've been wanting to do this episode for a while now, and I'm so happy that I finally had the time to go ahead and do it. So last year I ran the Dopey challenge at Disney's Marathon weekend, and it was one of the most epic weekends ever. I had so much fun. And if you don't know what the Dopey challenge is, it's basically you're running the 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon in 4 consecutive days. And with it being marathon weekend now just about a week away, I thought what better way than to kind of help you along and help create the most successful weekend if you're doing any of the challenges or if you're running multiple race days during marathon weekend. So with that being said, let's get to it. So one of my very first things that I do want to kind of put out there as my tip number 1 is that try and practice getting up early a few days prior to leaving on your trip. The reason why I'm saying this is because you're going to be getting up at about anywhere between 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. each of those race mornings, and it's going to be exhausting. So getting yourself to practice getting up early also means it allows your body to be like, you know what, I'm tired earlier, let's go to bed earlier, which will be super helpful during the weekend because it'll help you get extremely rested and just have a really successful weekend. I did that last year and it helped me out tremendously. All right, this tip goes out to the ones that are flying to Disney World for a race weekend. My main thing, and I do this every single time I'm flying anywhere to travel to go to one of my races, I will always make sure that I have at least one pair of running clothes I know that will be super comfortable wearing during a race. And obviously I'll be bringing my running shoes or anything that I know that I must have for my races all in my carry-on bag. Because if you happen to have like a bag underneath the plane and it gets lost, that's going to be really, really hard to try and figure out. If you're staying on Disney property, there is going to be laundry facilities. So if you have lost luggage, at least you know you can wash your running gear every night before the race. Alright guys, now we're kind of going into the, okay, we're at Disney and it's Expo Day. So with that being said, if you forgot some type of fuel or something that you needed and you left it at home, the Expo more than likely will probably have what you need, especially with fueling. I know that I use Salt Stick Fast Chews and Goo Energy Chews, and if I forget them, you know, it's fine because more than likely they're going to have it at the Expo. If not, it's gonna be, I know that I can find it over at the Fit to Run shop in Disney Springs. So there's options. And then obviously if you forgot other merchandise, more likely you'll find something very similar to it, if not the same thing, over at the Expo. So do not worry. I would say if the Run Disney specific merchandise is extremely important to you, please make sure you are doing the virtual queue right at the time it opens, because those group times are gonna go fast, especially the early ones. So be right on the point, right on the dot. I would almost recommend getting like a world clock where it shows the exact seconds on your phone with somebody else having the virtual queue and they're able to add you into that group, just so that you can get the timing just exactly right. If it's something that you must have at the Disney merchandise area, that's gonna be the best way to go. Now on the other spectrum of that, if you don't really mind or aren't looking for anything specific in terms of like the Disney merchandise stuff, I would say if you want to go later in the day or even on another day during the trip to the Expo, it's going to be much quieter. The first day of the Health and Fitness Expo is so incredibly busy. So if you have an opportunity to look at the merchandise later because you're not looking for anything too specific, it's going to be a lot quieter later in the day or on another day. My next thing is please do not stress during this weekend. I'm going to say that again. Do not stress during this weekend. You've already done the training. Your body knows that you can handle these races that you're about to do. Remember, these races are your victory laps. So enjoy them. Don't stress about it. You've got this. Now with that being said, you guys, my next tip for you is if you are a little worried about time and you want to make sure you have the most time available to you during the race, make sure that once the corrals open, that you get to at least the front or middle of the corral, so it gives you some wiggle time in between. Now, I say that cautiously. Please be patient and courteous to those around you, because there might be other people that are worried about time too, but do not try and fight your way there. It's gonna be fine. Remember, don't stress. You've already put in the training. You know you can do it. So relax, all right? Have fun, be kind. Now, this goes into information about the balloon ladies. If you don't know too much about the balloon ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and put the episode that we interviewed the balloon ladies right here. That way you have a better idea of what to expect in terms of the information about them. A key thing to remember is that most people don't realize they actually don't start at the same time as the last person crosses the start line. They hold for a minute and then they go. They're really nice ladies. They're encouraging and want you to keep going. Now, I love this tip and I wish I would have known about it when I was doing Dopey, but I learned and I thought this was great. So when I go to do Goofy Challenge in about a week, I'm definitely going to be doing this. So my friend Rachel is extremely smart. What she did was, and this goes for people that are staying on property, mobile order your food on your phone and set it up to be ready when you get back to your resort. You just burned all those calories. Now it's time to go ahead and fix that calorie deficit as well as hydrate. Because you know what, you guys? You want to fuel your body right. Now, going back to right before the races, here comes my next tip. Please make sure you arrive to your corral in time. If you remember from my 10K video, which I'm going to actually put up here, you would notice that I was late to my corral and was not allowed in. I had to go to the next available corral. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and post all the corral times for opening and closings for 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. Please notate which corral you're in, first of all, and what time it opens and what time it closes. They didn't actually have these times last year, so I'm really happy that they have these times this year as a guide for us, because that would have been nice to know before the races last year. So here's a huge advantage. If you don't want to miss your corral, there you go. With going along, again, with corral tips, if you want to run with a friend, but let's say they're in a corral behind you, they cannot move up to a higher corral. You would have to move back to that corral that they're in if you guys want to run together. You can always move back corrals, but you cannot move forward to any higher corrals. Now again, I love this tip. I've done it multiple times during multiple weekends. I love the expo and visiting the expo on multiple days of the trip. And one of my things is you want to make sure you're recovering right between races. One thing or way that you could do that is if you need some recovery items, go to the expo, go see what Fluffy Fizzy has got going on, or go and do a session with those like compression leg things. I'm going to put a picture right here for, because those are awesome. They're a great tool for recovery, as well as maybe if you want to go get KT taped, you can get one section of your body KT taped for free. Anything else you would have to purchase KT tape, which you could purchase there to be done there. But yeah, I mean, those are just some of the examples of what you could do in terms of recovery for yourself between races. Recovering is such a huge tool. If you do it right, you're gonna thank yourself later. All right, so here's one of my tips that works for me, may not work for you, but I do this, and ever since I started doing it, I love it. Or technically what I don't do. So I know lots of people after the races, they'll go and then take a nap. I personally would not do that. One, after a run like that, you're gonna want your body to kind of move a little bit longer, go for a walk, go to the parks for a little bit, whatever. But I personally do not take naps. And it goes back to something that I said earlier on about trying to train yourself to wake up early so you can go to bed early as well. If you take a nap, now you're not going to be tired to go to bed early. And then that means you won't be getting as much sleep before the next race. So with that being said, I don't take naps. I find that if I've been trained to get up early, and then I've also, with that being said, been trained to go to bed early, I want to continue that flow. If it's your last day, take a nap. You're done. Relax. But also make sure you're taking the time to recover before, because if you go straight into a nap, your muscles are not going to be happy for it. So yeah. So here's my next tip. If you're doing Dopey especially, there are 4 days of consecutive races. More than likely, you're gonna have an off day. Don't let that psych yourself out, okay? Remind yourself that you put in the training, your body knows what it's doing, and just relax and have fun and enjoy every bit of it. Don't psych yourself out. You can do this. Trust your training and keep going. Now, with there being 4 races for the Dopey Challenge, I would definitely choose one, and probably only one, that I would go hard out for. Do not go hard for all 4 races. Choose one you really want to focus on, because your body is going to be very, very thankful, because it is an exhausting weekend. And also, with that, please remember, the 5K is not timed. There are no balloon ladies. You cannot get swept. So do not worry about the 5K. You guys already saw in our 5K video that I'm going to go ahead and put up above. You're going to know we walked the 5K. The 5K was a huge party. You don't need to run it if you don't want to. Like I said, it's not timed. There's no balloon lady. There's no balloon ladies. So just go out and have fun. It's a big party. Okay, so one huge thing that I kind of knew going into the Dopey Challenge last year and didn't know the full extent of how I was going to feel. That weekend was probably the most exhausted I've ever felt. I was so extremely tired. If I'm gonna be completely open and honest with you guys, I felt more tired doing the Dopey Challenge than I did doing the 100K ultra marathon that was in February of this past year. If that's any indication, it's exhausting. So please, again, I want to repeat this, but please take time to do the recovery that you need in between the races. And going in with that, you really want to judge your park days based off of how you're feeling. I know that we're all on vacation and we want to just go do this, and that during the parks. I would probably say if you're going to do that, it might be easier on the days that the day before the 5K or the day of the 5K leading up to the 10K. I would say those days I would definitely go to the parks probably and then still go to bed early. But in terms of the night before the half marathon or the night before the marathon, please keep it easy. Your body's going to be so very thankful that you did. But with that being said, if you want to go out to the parks, more power to you. Just don't go so hard at doing the parks. Save some of that energy for the races. Another very big thing is I know, again, we're on vacation, but please be careful what you eat. If you've been training with certain foods, try and stay as much close to that as you can, and then go wild on the last day of the race. But before the races, please make sure you're fueling properly with the food that you're used to having. My second to last tip is, you guys all know this, and I've said this many times before, but please do not try anything new on race day. I have been guilty of that numerous times, and I feel like I have learned my lesson after not listening to myself for quite a bit. So I'm gonna put this to you. Please do not try anything new on race day. My last tip for you guys is very plain and simple, but please just have fun. And I know I've said it earlier in the video, but this race weekend are just victory laps. You've done the training, you've done the work, you know what you can do. Now celebrate that and have fun. Don't stress, don't worry, because you know you've got this. Because you guys, every mile is magic. So go out there and have fun. Alright you guys, that concludes my tips and tricks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you wish to see more videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Alright, you guys, hope to see you guys at Marathon Weekend. And until next time, bye.